Humans and robots are companion species on this planet. We need each other. But it's also a scary thing. It replaces the need for some of what we do of our own labor. In my mind, we need to change these systems from replacing human labor to augmenting and expanding and incorporating humans into the process. When everything comes together and you're in the space with the robot and you just have a very raw experience with this animal-like machine responding to your every move, all the technical aspects sort of melt away into the background. It's incredibly important to have opportunities and spaces to come in and experiment and misuse these existing technologies, because that's how you find innovations around our current problems. By doing this and by open sourcing these tools and by making it available and by sharing the knowledge behind this, and together as a community, we keep on lowering those barriers and making it more accessible and making it more exciting for people who don't see themselves as traditional roboticists or computer scientists, people that just want to nerd out about robots. Like, you don't need to be an expert to do that. Everyone has permission to do that.
Two rocking chairs are installed on the floor facing each other. The audience sees no interactions between chairs. The interaction is triggered when two people from the audience sit in the chairs and rock. Each chair has a sensor and motor. These devices enable mutual interaction between the chairs. The aim of remote furniture, then, is to create direct and tactile touch. I arrived at the idea by first considering the meaning of talking. Secondly, I wondered what kind of environment supports it and what kind of rules are behind it. In remote furniture, two chairs facing each other represent the environment, and the type of interaction represents the rules of talking. Technical requirement. The two chairs have a tilt sensor and a linear motor, and are both connected to a PC running control software. When someone rocks one of the chairs, the tilt sensor detects the inclination and transmits the data to the other chair through the PC. The motor in the other chair then causes it to rock. Usually, this kind of remote object is designed with a master-slave, one-way method. But in remote furniture, full duplex, two-way interaction is realized because it feels more natural. It's more like what we would imagine a telephone-like system to be like, which televises and exchanges tactile touch or motion of the body. I have designed remote furniture to make unexpected encounters between passers-by in public spaces. Unlike Westerners, people in Japan don't have a custom of talking to other passers-by in public spaces such as plazas or main streets. Although there are many public spaces in Japan, many of which are built in post-war style, we Japanese do not have a tradition of activity using these spaces. We are still trying to adapt traditional uses of space to those imported from other cultures. The spaces look the same but feel different from those in the Western world. The Japanese have a long tradition of forming communities based on small streets. So it seems to them that the new, big public spaces serve only commercial or transportation purposes, and maybe some street performances, but do nothing for the community. Perhaps Japanese people are too shy to come face to face with an unfamiliar person in a public space. It was interesting to see what happened when remote furniture was shown in some public spaces in Japan, such as an underground passage or an indoor shopping mall. Because the objects were chairs, passers-by became curious about them and eventually started sitting, rocking, and playing with them. And when these people realized what was going on between the chairs, they finally communicated with each other in funny and tactile ways. More conservative means of communication, such as talking and gesturing, became more open to them because the chairs allowed them to sit facing each other, as they were accustomed to when talking over a coffee table in a cafe or a kitchen table in their home.
choose to go to the moon.
To bring life to machines and algorithms, we might consider this to be our great Frankenstein era.
Robots and AI are going to make humanity into whatever it is we're capable of becoming.
Are we making robots in our own image? It goes into the heart of what it means to be human.
There's nothing more human than telling our stories. I've decided to test the outer limits of the human endeavor to create AI. I'm going to build a robot and let it conduct the final interview for this film.
What does silence feel?
What will this tell us about intelligent machines? And about ourselves?
If we make the machines better than us, why do they need us at all?
Just like always, technology shapes humanity. Who knows what we're going to become?
You hate your enemy?
How do you know what an enemy is?
Just because I'm presuming that I could be kinda human if I only had a heart. I'd be tender, I'd be gentle, and awful sentimental regarding love and art.
Who are you?
Relationships are a balancing act, and they're a delicate one. I chose to work with a sofa for this project because the full range of human social interactions can be found on sofas. From dinner to chatting to job interviews to sex, sofas are these ubiquitous, often very humble things built by man to facilitate social interaction. Is it any wonder that their footing is so solid when they're made to support these delicate structures we build of relationships prone to falling apart and falling down? The sofa I used for this project was an early Victorian transitional piece manufactured in the 1840s. I found it tattered and broken in the back of a coffee shop in a rural American town. The basic mechanism which balances the sofa is known as a reaction wheel. It is a design commonly used to reorient satellites in space. A second axis added to the mechanism allows the sculpture to balance on a single point. No one likes it when relationships fall apart, but it is an ever-present possibility. In the undesirable event that someone knocks the sculpture over, separate pieces of the sofa are held together with strong magnets, and the energy of a fall is dissipated by the pieces of the sofa pulling apart. As in life, the risk here is real, rather than illusory. The sculpture can fall and break to pieces, which must then be picked up, possibly repaired, and put back together one at a time. It's then stood up manually into a nearly balanced position from where it seeks out an ideal center of equilibrium on its own.